Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, my dear students in general and all the viewers also. Hope you all are fine and safe by the grace of Almighty Allah. The students of 9th class, today I am here with the 4th unit of your chemistry, that is next unit of your second term, an important unit as per the chemical combination structure of atom is concerned. It is what is structure of atom. Today we are going to discuss, or from today we are going to discuss what is the structure of atom. So far we discussed in the previous unit that atoms combine together, atoms of the same kind combine together, they form element, and then elements combine together, they form molecules or compounds. The question that we are going to find the answer is that what is atom made up of? Though we discussed it in bits in the last unit, what is atom made up of? What makes atoms of one element different from the atoms of the other element? If the atoms are same, अगर हम कहते हैं that the basis of all the matter is atoms, कि सारी matter जो बने हुए atom हों, all elements are made up of atoms. What makes the atoms of one element different from that of the other element? For example, oxygen is an element, carbon is an element. Oxygen भी atoms का बना हुआ है, carbon भी atoms का बना हुआ है. If atoms are the same, then why are they found in different types of elements? Then what makes the atoms of oxygen different from that of the carbon? इसी तरह बाकी elements के लिए भी हैं. And the next question is atom indivisible as stated by the John Dalton? Is atom indivisible? Is this the smallest unit? क्या इसके बगैर कोई यूनिट नहीं है? क्या इससे smallest कोई यूनिट नहीं है? क्या atom indivisible सच में है? To find the answer of these questions, it took hundreds of years for the scientists to find such answers. क्योंकि डाल्टन ने स्टेट किया था अपने एटॉमिक थ्योरी में कि एटम इज अ स्ट्रक्चरलेस यूनिट. ठीक, स्ट्रक्चरलेस यूनिट इज द स्मॉलेस्ट कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंट ऑफ द मैटर विच इज इनडिविजिबल. ठीक, लेकिन during the end of the 19th century or during the beginning of the 20th century, scientists found that it was found during many experiments that atom is not the smallest unit. Atom is not the smallest unit. Atom is made up of smallest subatomic particles, and those subatomic particles, these are electrons, protons and neutrons. That is what constitutes the atom. It is because many theories or many experiments reveal that the atom is not the smallest. Atom is having some subatomic particles in it. Because one of the simple experiment, अगर हम रब करते हैं कभी काम को अपने हेयर के साथ, तो एक चार्ज डेवलप होती है, एक फोर्स डेवलप होता है. किसमें? इस काम में, with which it attracts the bits of paper. तो ये फोर्स कहाँ से आ गया? ये चार्ज कहाँ से आ गई? These things, these and many other experiments like that, they reveal that these charged particles are inside the atom. First it was stated that it is different atoms having different charge. After that, पहले यही कहा था कि different atoms के different charge हैं, लेकिन उसके बाद ये practically prove हुआ कि different atoms के different charge नहीं है. It is because of the subatomic particles that are found inside the atom, they are having different charges. ठीक, and these are called now as electrons, protons and neutrons. तो आज से मतलब 100 साल पहले की बात है जब यह चीज़ें डिस्कवर हो गई कि atom is not the smallest. Atom is made up of the charged subatomic particles. Atom is made up of charged subatomic. It is called the electrical nature of the matter. Electrical nature of the matter. अब matter जो है, it is electrically, there is some electric force. There is some force, opposite forces existing in the matter. That is because the matter is made up of atoms, and atoms are made up of subatomic particles, electrons, protons and neutrons. Now, we are going to study that how was this observed, how was this discovered that atom is made up of electrons, protons and neutrons. Today, I will try my best to give you the description of the theory or the experiment that revealed the discovery of electrons. That at the end of the 19th century, or towards the end of the 19th century, an English scientist or chemist, his name was J J Thomson. J J Thomson. J J Thomson did an experiment. That experiment is called as discharge tube. Discharge tube experiment. Discharge tube experiment, or it is called as Crookes tube experiment. Now, what is discharge tube experiment? In this experiment, current was passed through a glass tube filled with the air. Through a glass tube filled with the gases, that is air filled with the gases. और वहाँ पर क्या रिवील होता है? लेट अस डू द एक्सपेरिमेंट. हम एक्सपेरिमेंट ही डायरेक्टली पढ़ते हैं कि व्हाट इज डिस्चार्ज ट्यूब एक्सपेरिमेंट. दिस डिस्चार्ज ट्यूब एक्सपेरिमेंट वाज डन बाय जे जे थॉमसन. What is the experiment and what substances were used in this experiment? Let us go for that. Let's study that. Discharge tube experiment. Discharge tube experiment. Discharge tube experiment में क्या है कि the experiment is consists of a glass tube and a hard glass tube of about 50 centimeter length. Glass tube closed at both ends with metallic containers. ठीक? Closed at both ends with electrodes. You know, metallic substances which will conduct electricity. Just glass tube. One. This glass tube is then fitted with then another side tube like this. This glass tube is then fitted with another glass tube, another tube. ये जो another side tube है, it is used to evacuate the gases, to increase or change the pressure, change the pressure of the gases inside the glass tube. How? By evacuating the gases with the help of the vacuum pump. यहाँ पर vacuum pump लगाया जाता है तो उससे gases को evacuate किया जा सकता है, जिससे pressure of the gases on the glass tube that can be increased or decreased. ठीक? और क्या इस्तेमाल होता है? These electrodes, these are two types of electrodes. They are connected. मैं यहाँ से बीच में लिखूँगा. बीच में मैंने ये लिखा, मैं राइटिंग रब नहीं करूँगा, आप ऐसे ही समझ लेना. Now they are connected. These two electrodes are connected to a high voltage battery. It is the symbol of the battery. High voltage battery. अब दो electrodes हैं. The end of the glass tube connected with the negative terminal of the battery is called the cathode, and connected with the positive terminal of the battery is called anode. Is it clear? And what is this? It is vacuum pump. What is this? It is a glass rod, cylindrical glass tube, hard cylindrical glass tube. Understand? And this is the battery. This discharge tube is filled with the air. And this side tube is used to evacuate the air with the help of the vacuum pump. Now, when the circuit is completed, when the circuit was completed, circuit complete matlab when electric current was allowed to pass through this glass tube at an atmospheric pressure, at an atmosphere, normal atmospheric pressure of 1 atmosphere unit, it was found that no current flows through the glass tube because gases at a specific pressure are bad conductors of electricity. Gases जो होते हैं, gases are the bad conductors of electricity. उसकी एक जीगती जागती मिसाल है जो इलेक्ट्रिक लाइनर्स, चाहे वो 33 सास ٲسۍतन 66 सास ٲسۍतन 1 सास ٲسۍतन लो टेंशन वायर्स ٲसۍतन, हम छना आयर में पकान. अगर आयर आसे गुड कंडक्टर ऑफ इलेक्ट्रिसिटी तो हम यहाँ पर रह नहीं सकते क्योंकि करंट बात है आयर में है. तो अम्स इस तरह फिक्री कि आयर एट नॉर्मल एटमॉस्फेयर प्रेशर इट इज पुअर कंडक्टर और बैड कंडक्टर ऑफ इलेक्ट्रिसिटी. बट व्हेन द प्रेशर ऑफ द gases is decreased, when the pressure of gas is decreased and a current of high voltage is allowed to flow through it at very low pressure, at that times gases become good conductors of electricity. ये आपको याद रखना है. Gases जो normally होते हैं they are poor conductors or bad conductors of electricity, but when a high voltage current is passed through the gases at very low pressure, through the gases at very low pressure, they become good conductors of electricity. यही मेथड यहाँ पे यूज किया गया. फर्स्ट a current was allowed to flow, a current of, in this experiment what was observed in this glass tube experiment or discharge tube experiment which is filled with the air, what was observed? First a current of high voltage about 10,000 volts, about 10,000 volts. ठीक, a current of high voltage, ये current, ये battery a battery of 10,000 volts was connected to the circuit. 10,000 volts. V is directly proportional to I. युता potential difference ज़्यादा युता current ज़्यादा. A current of high voltage was allowed to pass through the gases at a normal atmospheric pressure of 1 atmospheric pressure unit. ठीक. It was observed that no current, no electric current flows through the gas tube. कहाँ करंट गई नहीं पास के. Then second step क्या किया गया? The pressure of the gases inside the glass tube was decreased by evacuating the air with the help of the vacuum pump. उसके बाद क्या किया गया? The pressure of the gases, जो यहाँ पर गैस का प्रेशर था उसको डिक्रीज किया गया by evacuating the gases, by evacuating the air with the help of the vacuum pump. When the pressure of the gases was decreased to 10 raised to power minus 2, that is equal to 1 divided by 100. अभी तो 1 था एटमॉस्फेयर, अब प्रेशर कितना हो गया? 1 divided by 100 atmospheric units. तो at that atmospheric pressure units, at that time it was observed that current begins to flow through the gases. जो ही यहाँ पर gases का प्रेशर कम हुआ ग्लास ट्यूब में और हाई वोल्टेज करंट ऑलरेडी इसके साथ हाई वोल्टेज पोटेंशियल डिफरेंस अटैच थी, करंट begins to flow, करंट लज पास गसने. ठीक, इसे इक्वल करंट पास है. the gases inside the tube start glowing, the gases inside the tube start glowing. ये gases, क्योंकि ये हमने पहले ही कहा, it is discharge tube experiment जिसमें ये गिलास रॉड है filled with the air, filled with the air और filled with the gases. जब इसमें से जब ये gases at the temporary atmospheric pressure maintain किया गया 1 atmospheric pressure, हाई वोल्टेज करंट पास की गई लेकिन करंट पास हुई नहीं, दे रेजिस्टेड एंड कोई करंट गैस ट्यूब में से पास नहीं हुई. बट व्हेन द प्रेशर ऑफ द गैसेस वाज रिड्यूस्ड टू 10 raised to power minus 2 atmospheric units by decreasing the atmospheric pressure by evacuating the gases with the help of the vacuum pump, it was observed that current begins to flow through the glass tube. How was it observed? Gases inside the glass tube starts glowing. Gases inside the glass tube starts glowing और ये glass tube चमकिया हो. And the color of the glass tube depends upon the nature of the gases user. अब किस color आशि दितमुत नेबर कुन कत colors में आशि glow गुमुत, that depends upon the nature of the gases. That is not the matter of concern. Now after that the atmospheric pressure, the pressure of the gases was further reduced to 10 raised to power minus 4. It means 1 divided by 10,000, or it can be written as 10 raised to power minus 4 atmosphere units. जब प्रेशर फर्दर इंक्रीज किया गया तो व्हाट वाज ऑब्जर्व्ड, इट वाज ऑब्जर्व्ड दैट गैस स्टॉप ग्लोइंग, जो ग्लोनेस थी वो खत्म हो गई, ग्लोनेस गई कम, एंड इट वाज ऑब्जर्व्ड दैट the glass tube at the end of anode or opposite to that of the cathode। ये याद रखना कि दूसरे स्टेप में क्या हुआ, पहले स्टेप में एटमॉस्फेयर प्रेशर 1 एटमॉस्फेयर यूनिट था, 10,000 वोल्ट्स करंट पास की गई, कोई करंट पास नहीं हुई। व्हाट डिड जे जे थॉमसन डिड, तिम कोर एटमॉस्फेयर प्रेशर कम बाय इवैक्यूएटिंग द गैस विद द हेल्प ऑफ वैक्यूम पंप। कोता कोर एटमॉस्फेयर प्रेशर थोवन मेंटेन करित एट द रेट ऑफ 10 raised to power -2 एटमॉस्फेयर यूनिट्स। फिर वही करंट गिलास ट्यूब से पास की विद द हेल्प ऑफ द बैटरी एंड कंडक्टिंग वायर, तो इसने देखा कि गैसेस स्टार्ट ग्लोइंग, दैट मींस इलेक्ट्रिक करंट स्टार्ट्स टू फ्लो थ्रू द गैसेस। जब इलेक्ट्रिक करंट पास हो रही थी थ्रू द गैसेस तो ये गैसेस ग्लो हो रही थी। To the next step he did, he decreased the atmospheric pressure, he decreased the pressure of the gases inside the glass tube by evacuating further gases from the side glass tube and maintained the pressure at 10 raised to power -4, that is 1 divided by 1000 times। इसने 1000 times pressure कम किया तो what he observed, the glowness of the gas stopped and the end opposite to the cathode inside the glass tube starts emitting the light, a greenish light, starts emitting a greenish color light, that is called fluorescence। green color light emit at the anode to the opposite of the cathode, and it was observed कि जैसे इस एनोड पर, इस गिलास ट्यूब पर एनोड साइड में कोई बम्बार्डमेंट हो रही है, तो ऑब्जर्व जैसे कोई बम्बार्डमेंट हो रही है इन पार्टिकल्स की, इन ग्रीन कलर पार्टिकल्स की, किस पर, एनोड पर। और ये बम्बार्डमेंट कहाँ से हो, इट वाज लाइक द streaks coming out from the cathode and striking the glass rod or glass tube at the anode, वही इमिट कर रहे थे ये ग्रीनिश कलर। एंड after several experiments it was observed that the glowing of the tube at the end of the cathode, the glowing or emitting of the greenish color at the end of the anode in the opposite of the cathode was because of the bombardment of the particles, some particles that were emitted from the cathode side। इस cathode पर जब particles वथान in the form of streaks, ठीक जैसे वो तीर की तरह आ रहे थे, ठीक रेज की तरह आ रहे थे, कैथोड से निकलकर गिलास रॉड को यहाँ स्ट्राइक कर रहे थे। When the nature of these particles was found or experimented, it was found that these particles that were bombarding the glass rod at the opposite end of the cathode, they were these streaks or these rays, they were called as cathode rays। Why? Cathode rays because they originated from the cathode and struck the glass rod at anode। इस cathode में जन बासान rays नेरान और strike बासान करन at the anode। That is why these rays were called as cathode rays because they originated from the cathode। And later on it was observed by several other experiments that these cathode rays are negatively charged, are made up of negatively charged particles. They are negatively charged particles and were named as electrons, and that is why credit for the discovery of the electrons goes to the J J Thomson। It was J J Thomson who discovered the emission of these negatively charged rays from the cathode that were striking the glass tube at the anode। And when the nature of these rays was found, it was found they were composed of negatively charged particles, and these negatively charged particles were named as the electron। And this is how electrons were discovered by J J Thomson। And this mass of this electron, was found to be was found to be 1 divided by 1840th times of mass of hydrogen। यानी mass of electron कोता आव वुचन कि mass of electron छ अगर हम mass of hydrogen सारे खर लोत element सारे खर लोत ठीक lightest of all the elements is hydrogen its atomic mass unit is 1 तो mass of electron कितना है 1 divided by यानी इन हाइड्रोजन के एटम के मासुक 1840 हिस्स 1840 हिस्स which is very small or the absolute mass of hydrogen is 9.1 into 10 raised to power minus 31 kg. आप ये भी याद रख सकते हैं जो भी आप रखेंगे मास ऑफ हाइड्रोजन इधर 1 डिवाइड बाय 1840th of mass of hydrogen or its absolute mass is 9.1 into 10 raised to power minus 31 kg. It means 9.1 is current divide by that's 1 plus 31 zeros so kota number sign them such current divide 9.1 that kota mass and theta kg which is almost negligible. That is why in the atomic mass जो मैंने पिछली बार लिखा है atomic mass में हम लिखते हैं सिर्फ number of protons plus number of neutrons. Why number of not electrons? Because the mass of electrons in the atom is almost negligible. In the आसनस बराबर atomic mass is as low as negligible as it can be termed as negligible. And the charge of the electron एक electron की जो charge है and the charge of the electron is 6.022 into 10 raised to power minus 19 coulomb. ये आपको याद रखना है ये 10th में भी आपके काम आएगा. Charge of the electron is 6.022 into 10 raised to power minus 19 coulomb. याद रखा. What is the charge of electron? 6.022 into 10 raised to power minus 19 coulomb. लेकिन कौन सी चार्ज? ऑफ नेगेटिव चार्ज. इसमें नेगेटिव चार्ज है एक इलेक्ट्रॉन में नेगेटिव चार्ज है क्योंकि ये नेगेटिव चार्ज रेस जो यहाँ से यहाँ से एमिट हो रही थी कैथोड से स्ट्राइक कर रही थी एनोड से इनको इसलिए कैथोड रेस नाम पड़ गया बिकॉज दे वर एमिटिंग फ्रॉम द एनोड कैथोड स्ट्राइकिंग द एनोड एंड और जो कैथोड है ठीक इट वाज observed during the experiments that they were behaving as formed of a negatively charged substance and these negatively charged particles subatomic particles were called as electrons having negative charge and one electron is at the charge of 0.6.022 into 1019. Hope you understand that how electrons were discovered by J J Thomson by this discharge tube experiment. Thank you for watching. Stay safe and stay at home.